The navigator's core capabilities. Three capabilities define effective orchestration. Master these, and you shift from executing tasks to creating value. The navigator is fundamentally different from the traditional generalist. Previous generalists relied on accumulated knowledge, a breadth of shallow expertise acquired through years of exposure. The navigator relies on the ability to simulate depth instantly using AI. This transforms your identity from a holder of knowledge to an orchestrator of capability. You use AI as a synthetic bridge to operate with depth across multiple domains without spending years mastering each one. Orchestration does not require becoming a Python expert, a data scientist, and a UX researcher. The role is to orchestrate the tools that provide those capabilities while you focus on strategic synthesis, contextual judgment, and pattern recognition. You are moving from jack of all trades, master of none, to orchestrator of capabilities, master of synthesis. The depth comes from the AI partnership. Your mastery is in knowing when and how to deploy those capabilities, how to validate their outputs, and how to weave them together into coherent value creation. Strategic decomposition. Break complex goals into actionable components. This applies Herbert Simon's concept of bounded rationality. Humans can't process infinite complexity, so the strategy is to chunk problems into manageable pieces. AI excels at pattern-based execution within clear boundaries. You excel at framing those boundaries. Decomposition is the bridge. You translate ambiguous strategic goals, improve customer retention into specific, executable tasks AI can address, analyze the last 6 months of support tickets for common complaints. Without this skill, you'll keep asking AI vague questions and getting vague answers. High-leverage synthesis. As AI commoditizes information production, the premium on human synthesis soars. This applies the discipline of knowledge synthesis, systematically combining diverse findings to generate new insights. AI acts as a research engine. You appraise evidence, identify patterns, formulate novel conclusions. AI handles the first 80%. The final 20%, injecting insight, nuance, narrative, is where you provide tenfold value. This is where you apply high-demand, durable skills. Deep work discipline. Mastering these capabilities requires cognitive discipline. This links to Cal Newport's concept of deep work. The D.I.S.T framework redesigns what you do. Deep work enables excelling at the high-value human responsibilities that remain. It ensures the hyper-productivity dividend, the time and cognitive capacity reclaimed from AI-ready tasks, fuels genuine value, not shallow activity. Without this discipline, the dividend gets consumed immediately by shallow work, leading to freneticism that nullifies the benefit of augmentation. The journey from user to orchestrator is central. It is a move from passivity to agency, from cog to designer. Symbiotic orchestration guides this, representing a new professional covenant. Not follow process for security, but orchestrate valuable outcomes. Continuously evolve, create your own security. This requires trading external validation for internal validation, finding worth in creating outcomes, not just complying with expectations. The case for the passenger. Not everyone wants to design their own job. That is a valid choice. Many professionals prioritize stability and execution over architecture. They do not want the cognitive load of constant reinvention. They want clarity and the freedom to focus on their craft. This is a legitimate allocation of limited energy. But even the passenger needs a viable organization. When navigators use D.I.S.T to eliminate drudgery and design humane workflows, everyone benefits. Mastering orchestration isn't required to appreciate a role defined by human contribution rather than mechanical friction. If you prefer the passenger seat, you still have a stake in the journey. Understanding these dynamics allows you to distinguish between leadership that architects for capacity and leadership that automates for cost. It helps you recognize and support the collective efforts demanding better terms. The goal is not to convert every passenger. It is to ensure that there are still vessels worth boarding. Before you begin, the reality check. The methodology in this book is a practical discipline that requires certain conditions to practice effectively. This reality check isn't about your capability. It is about whether your environment permits the practice. You can ask yourself 3 questions to determine your readiness. First, do you have tool access? If you cannot install software or subscribe to AI services without weeks of IT approval, it will be difficult to practice this at work. You might need to practice elsewhere to build portable skills. Second, do you have workflow autonomy? If your role is entirely scripted and measured on process adherence rather than outcomes, you likely lack the freedom to apply this framework. Adaptation requires the ability to redesign how you complete a task without seeking multiple sign-offs. Third, do you have time to learn? This isn't about working longer hours. It asks whether your workload leaves cognitive slack for meta work, the work of redesigning work. Structuring 2 or 3 hours weekly for structured experimentation. If you answered no to any of these, you face a constraint, but not a dead end. You might practice D.I.S.T on personal projects using your own device to build the muscle memory of orchestration, even if you cannot apply it to company data yet. You can also try to change the environment using the collective action strategies in Chapter 8. If the organization punishes curiosity and optimizes entirely for control, recognize that you are in an extractive system. You may not be able to leave today, but you can begin building the portable capabilities that will eventually provide your exit. Applying the D.I.S.T framework in your current role assumes baseline autonomy. If you have it, don't wait. The best time to redesign your work is before the system forces it on you. A mindset is not a method. The method is the D.I.S.T framework. That was the mindset. But a mindset is not a method. To actually do this, to take apart a specific role on a Monday morning and rebuild it, requires the mechanics. That happens in Chapter 2, which breaks down the D.I.S.T framework, the step-by-step protocol for dissolving, isolating, synthesizing, and titrating work. The full workshop cannot fit into a preview video, but for those ready to run that audit on their own career, the complete playbook is available in Agile Symbiosis. Whether you pick up the book or not, try looking at your next task through the lens of the navigator. The choice is yours.